Hey, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Don, and today's video is going to be about what to do if you have been rejected from your top internship, or if you're having trouble securing an internship for your graduation requirement, whether you're in an MSW program, BSW program, or in a completely different profession. Before we get started, please be sure to make sure that you are subscribed to my channel and to turn on your notification button so you can be notified of more videos like this. And if you want daily advice, or you want to see a glimpse into my life on a daily basis, please be sure to give me a follow on Instagram at DonzelPost. To begin, if you are watching this because you found yourself in this video, I definitely want to extend my deepest sympathies, because I understand how scary this could be. I understand how frustrating this could be. I understand how much uncertainty it can cause, and all of the emotions that you're feeling, they're real, they're valid, they are necessary, and they should be felt. But I don't want them to paralyze you, because there are things that you can do if you are having trouble securing a field placement. Now, the first thing you want to do, and this video is not to step on anyone's field liaison, uh, and it's not to replace anyone's field liaison or internship coordinator, whatever the term is at your institution. So with that said, I think it's important to have a conversation with your field liaison or the assistant director or director of field education or internship coordination to see if they could reach out to the internship sites to see if there was anything in the application that served as a red flag, and to see if they could provide any feedback. The other thing I think is worth mentioning is, if you want to work at this place that you didn't get your internship at, if you want to work there for your place of employment post graduation, I do think it's important to follow up with them. Your field liaison could do this, but also you could do this. It's okay if you reach out to and simply ask, where are other places that's worth applying? Where should you apply? And with that, you can ask, who are applicants that you all accept, or where do you accept applicants from? What places are you fond of where students complete their internships at? Because that will help you narrow your choices or shift your direction to see if you are applying to the wrong places, or applying to places that will get you to where you want to be. So if I am an employer of University of Chicago, if someone asks me, hey, who are some, or what are some other institutions or other hospitals that you tend to hire from, where students completed their internship that you're fond of, I could say, oh, we love Northwestern internship graduates. We love Loyola's, and they're not going to necessarily say who they don't like, but you can notice, you can ask, you can say, oh, have you all received, or have you hired graduates from who completed their internship at UIC? Or if it's a smaller healthcare entity, like maybe a hospice agency or something, you can ask and gauge their reaction. I mean, but also gauge their answer. If they say no, then that says something. It doesn't always mean that it's not a good place for you to intern, but it could mean that it is. It doesn't mean that it's not, but it doesn't mean that it is either. So it's not being afraid to have those conversations and ask those questions. Next thing that I'm going to suggest is that you pivot your places that you are applying to, and see if you can expand them. So if you're a healthcare person, maybe seeing if you could do your field placement in an outpatient, uh, you know, integrated care center or an outpatient healthcare clinic and to provide psychotherapy and case management. Or if you are, you're substance abuse, instead of applying solely to treatment facilities, if they're all filled, maybe you can apply to a private practice to complete your field placement and maybe, have a certain amount of dedicated clients who are, experiencing substance misuse or substance dependency. There are many different ways of seeing, okay, how can I pivot a little bit? If you are, interested in working with all girls and there are no positions at the YWCA, maybe trying the Boys and Girls Club, or maybe trying Girl Scouts, or I don't know, just expanding your option and seeing, okay, maybe the location isn't necessarily available, but perhaps this particular topic, it can be addressed, or this clinical issue can be addressed with this particular population that I'm working with that maybe I had not thought about working with prior. Again, these are things that you will have to discuss with your program, because your program follows the guidelines of the Council on Social Work Education, and they may have more rigid guidelines based on your concentration. So if you concentrate in something, you may have to complete it in that specific setting, but maybe not. So it is worth asking, it's worth inquiring about. And these are things that you shouldn't be afraid to ask your field liaison, your field director. You should be able to ask these questions. And that's the other thing. You can touch base with them to ask them, what have they seen? What are they noticing? What do they know? Because typically they're either still in the field or they are fresh out of the field. They have connections. They are meant to build relationships with it. The other option could be expanding your location. So maybe you've only been applying in certain neighborhoods. You may need to expand to one city over. So fun fact, I lived in Urbana, Illinois, but I completed my internship in Normal, Illinois, because I really wanted a field placement at a cancer center. So I drove an hour there and an hour back every day for 7 months because it was a blocked field placement. So after I completed all of my coursework, I hopped right into my internship and I did that full time. So you could do something like that where maybe you're traveling an hour if you are able to do that. Another thing that you could try to do is see if perhaps relocating is an option. So for me, these were options for me because my program, we had a blocked field placement where we took all of our coursework first, and then we completed our field placement. So there were classmates who completed their field placement in California, although our program was in Urbana, Illinois, because they knew they wanted to relocate to California. So you can inquire about, locations in other cities. Now, this is going to be more work for them, and this is where you take your education into your own hands. So for me, I actually secured an internship at the prestigious Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. This is not to shame my program, but this is just to highlight the charge that I took in my education. I did that on my own. And so I decided not to take it because I received a scholarship that part of the fellowship program that I was in, I was a Hill Scholar. It which stands for Healthcare Education and Leadership Scholar. It came with a stipend, and you know, I received advanced training in healthcare leadership and things of that nature. But one of the stipulations was that I had to have a field placement within a 50-mile radius of my school. So if I accepted the Mayo Clinic, I would not have received that fellowship, and then I would have had to pay out of pocket for my internship, for the cost of my internship. So that's why I didn't go that route. And so again, you have to know the nuances, and you have to take all of those factors into consideration when applying to a program. And the last thing I'm going to provide you with is just, you know, the encouragement to not give up. This is, you know, if you're watching this in February, you have plenty of time. If your internship starts in the summer or if it starts in the fall, you can really take time to brainstorm, to reflect, to learn about opportunities. And with that, keep an open mind. Sometimes we are able to forge our path in grad school, and other times we may have to be open to the path that is rolling out for us. And that is okay. You know, I had my way in grad school. I interviewed at, you know, at Mayo and was accepted. And then I interviewed at the cancer center I selected. And that interview, I was accepted the same day. I was offered the internship on the spot. So, you know, I had a smooth admittance or acceptance aspect of my social work journey, but then post MSW, it was not smooth at all. I wanted to be an oncology social worker, and there weren't any opportunities. I was poorly advised. No one told me I needed to have my master's license before graduating to be competitive for healthcare social work positions. My field supervisor didn't tell me, my liaison didn't tell me, the director of field education didn't tell me, the director of healthcare social work didn't tell me. So if y'all watching this, shame on y'all. I hope you're doing better. I'm not bitter. I am well. But I say that to let you all know that sometimes it may not work out as you see planned, but it doesn't mean that it won't be the best thing to happen for you, or that there's not something for you to gain. As an MSW student, your goal is to graduate. So we do what we need to do to graduate. And the beautiful thing about social work is that once we graduate, it's easier to transition into other fields. You know, if you started out in mental health and you want to go to healthcare, you want to transition to schools, or you want to transition to policy, or you want to transition to macro or meso, you can. So don't be discouraged. I don't know about other professions. Some of them, I'm sure you can, like nursing. That's the beautiful thing about nursing, you know, but I do think that there are other things that you can do if you are in other professions as well. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment in the comment section below how your field placement experience is going. Thanks so much for watching, and until I see you next time, be you, be great.